Hey guys, it's Grand Admiral Thrawn fan, and I'm back with another Black Series review. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and this is actually my first Black Series review since I had my channel name change and everything. Hopefully I'm still really good at it, but yeah, so today I'm actually going to be doing a Black Series review of Zoree's figure from The Rise of Skywalker. And yeah, I think the best way to start this Black Series review is just to get on into it. So I actually think they did an amazing job on this Zorii figure. There's a lot of great detailing, posability, accessories, and features. I'm gonna get into them all later, but to simply start the review, I think I'm just gonna talk about the figure itself. So I really like how they actually got the maroon and gold mixture right, because Zori's kind of the only character in Star Wars to have maroon and gold. And yeah, so as you can see, they start the figure off with how she has black boots, but then she has the maroon underneath all of her armor and everything, like the maroon suit on. And then there's the bits of gold armor, they have all that. There's nice detailing on it of how it's got several different points and just little parts where it'll go around her arms or her chest or her helmet, or just like this one spot around her waist. That's really cool. But then they also have the brown spots that go around her, and that's really cool. And just there's like all these little lines of detailing that break it up and make the figure look very nice. I think they did a great job on that. I like, especially on how her armor here, they have all the little detailing of the black lines that go around on it. The helmet they did an amazing job on, but I'm going to do that in just a second. Like these bracelets here on her wrists, they have detailing on them with little black lines. I know it's kind of hard to see, but they did a great job there. So yeah, I think they did a great job on actually getting Zoree's design right. They did a really good job on that. But especially with the helmet. Her helmet has got a very unique design in that her helmet actually goes out on the back, not just like a normal helmet. It keeps going past when it covers her head. And then they even got this little antenna here, right? That's pretty cool. On the back, you can see all the extra detailing they went into. And they did a really good job on that. They did not need to go above and beyond like that, because who is actually going to be looking at the back of the action figure's head like this to spot all that detail? Besides me and all of you now. Who is actually going to be looking for that? They did a really good job there. They went into all that detailing. There's little bits of like dirt and grimy spots that show like battle, or just the fact that living on Kajimi is a very dirty place and that you have to do some rough things to survive. They did a great job there with all that detailing. And they just did a really good job of making this look like Zorii. They got the whole figure design right, all the features and everything. For speaking of the features, actually, I might as well go into them. They have one really cool feature. This is probably the main one that the figure comes with. But Zori's helmet has the removable part of where the glass is on her helmet. You can actually take that off and show the part of her face, like in her one scene where she does take that off and talks to Poe. That's really cool. I like that they did that. And if you look, they actually have a really good job there. I think they used the photoreal tech and did the face scan thing they do, because that looks exactly like Zorii underneath there. That's really cool. That is like, this is how much of that there is. That tiny bit, and you can see it in there with such great detailing. And yeah, the piece does come off very easily, but it doesn't come off to the point of where you'll lose it easily. So I think that's really cool. And you can even see reflections in the piece that they have on here. It's not transparent or anything or reflective, but it just reflects a bit. So I guess it is reflective. So I guess ignore what I just said. It is kind of reflective, and that's pretty cool. For posability, the figure actually has great posability. Like the boots have articulation here, you have knee joint articulation. The legs do, although the holsters they don't even really prohibit that. They just make it that you can't really lift her legs all the way up. Around her waist, she has good articulation. Her hands have articulation, then her elbows, and then her arms. And then this is actually really cool. There's neck articulation for the figure. That's a really cool idea to include. I wish we'd get that in more figures. But yeah, the figure has some great posability, and Zorii actually stands up pretty nice, which is something that's kind of rare with female figures. Usually they don't have the best posability and they'll sometimes fall over, but they did a really good job with Zorii. She stands up great and you can put her in a bunch of cool poses. And yeah, so I figure I guess it's time for me to get into the accessories. Zorii comes with two, and they are her unique blasters, which are pretty cool if I'm being honest. They gave the unique blaster design, they kind of look like Old West pistols, which is really cool if I'm being honest. They have all the gold and little red line details and black on the pistols. They both look really cool, and Zorii comes with dual molded hands so she can hold both blasters at the same time. They don't just give her one hand that's molded to fit the blasters in. No, you can have her hold both of her blasters at the same time, which is pretty cool. And then this is probably one of my favorite little details. They made it an accurate detail of that Zori's holsters are in reverse, so that way her pistols go in like this. They are not actually like this, of that they go in like that. No, her holsters are meant to look like this. They got that little detail right from the movie. And I think they did a really good job on that. The blasters stay in her hand very nicely, so yeah, I think they did a really good job on accessories. But I do think they could have given her more accessories, and that probably would have helped this figure sell better. How is it we got a Zorii Bliss figure, and she didn't come with a Babu Frick? Tell me, who forgot to throw in a Babu Frick with this figure? I can guarantee you that would have at the very least helped her sales. It wouldn't have made this figure a bestseller or anything, but I have a feeling that she would have sold much better if she came with a little Babu figure. And we know they can do that because we did get, like, Inzellans in the IG-12 thing. Although maybe it was like they couldn't make the molds back then. So yeah, anyway, I definitely think the figure could have used a Babu Frick. That would have been a really nice inclusion. Another inclusion they could have done is that little disc thing that she gives to Poe so they can go save Chewie from Kylo's Star Destroyer. That probably would have been nice to have, but they didn't give her one of those. But to be fair, that's very small. That would have been lost immediately, and it's not necessary. It just would have been something cool they could have given her. So I'm going to take a break from talking about the figure. I'll be right back, but real quick, I want to talk about her box. It's your average standard red box, and I like it. I mean, I kind of miss the red boxes, if I'm being honest. I miss when not every figure had to come in a Waveline box, or be some exclusive thing that's like $100. She is number 103 in the Black Series Red Box Wave, which kind of surprises me. I thought there would be more figures in between there, but 103 is still pretty good. They did a nice little picture of her helmet down here in the corner, and they state that her name is Zorii Bliss, which I don't think they ever actually say that in the movie. I just know they call her Zorii, but there you go. Zorii Bliss is her full name. On the back, you get the same picture, and it's still pretty nice. But then you get a little detail about who the character is, and they talk about the Spice Runners of Kijimi. Which, by the way, I cannot be the only person who wants this. I want a Poe and Zorii Spice Runners spinoff. It could be set before or after the sequels, but I don't care. I think that would actually make for a really good show. I want a Spice Runners spinoff. But getting back to it, I think they did a nice job on the box. It's kind of weird, though. We've only ever gotten one Waveline figure for Rise of Skywalker. But oh well. Yeah, so a nice box. It's got all the average red box things going for it. But yeah, I definitely think this is an underrated Black Series figure that if you like obscure characters, you should pick this one up. Because Zori's the kind of character who, even though she doesn't have that many scenes, the ones she does have leave an impact in her film. And besides, this is actually a really good figure with a lot of great detailing and everything in it. So, yeah, this is I'm thinking, should I actually take a point off for the fact they didn't throw in Babu Frick? Okay, in all seriousness, this figure is probably a 10 out of 10, but I have to give them something for the fact that they didn't include Babu Frick. So I'm going to be giving this figure a 9.5 out of 10. But in all seriousness, this is an amazing Black Series figure, and I think it deserved a little better. Anyway, this is Grand Admiral Thrawn signing off, and yeah, you have more Black Series reviews in the future to come. Well, I have more Black Series reviews in the future to come, but you have more to look forward to. So yeah, this figure, 9.5 out of 10. This is Grand Admiral Thrawn signing off, and I look forward to our next encounter in my next video. But let me know down in the comments, would you be interested in a Spice Runners spinoff? Take care.